We are taking you into the news right now with the Fox 45 news feed. It's 11 a.m. We are now getting key details in the Brooklyn Homes mass shooting in a 173-page after-action report. What police knew days before the shots rang out. Transportation troubles in Howard County with buses showing up late or not at all. The event happening now that will hopefully provide parents with some answers. And Hurricane Idalia makes landfall in Florida. We are checking out the conditions as well as the problems rescue crews could face once the storm has passed. Fox 45 News Midday starts now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News Midday.
Thanks for joining us for Fox 45 News Midday. I'm Patrice Sanders. Breaking news this morning, the mayor is holding a public safety press conference alongside city officials and agency leaders to make an important public safety announcement. And again, it comes after a 173-page after-action report from the Brooklyn Day mass shooting was released earlier this morning. Now, this is a live look from that news conference. It is about to wrap up. They've been at this for a little bit now, but here's what the mayor had to say earlier in the news conference.
We lost 2 young lives. Aaliyah Gonzalez, whose mom I've spoken to several times and who came to share her story of pain and hope for our city last night at our community engagement meeting. Khalees, who should be going about their lives and pursuing their dreams. Instead, their families join the dozens and dozens of others who are dealing with the trauma of this event and the devastating impact that it will have on them and our city forever. These reports and this press conference are rightfully focused on city government's actions, but we have never stopped pursuing the justice that Brooklyn Homes and Baltimore as a whole deserves.
Acting Police Commissioner Richard Worley is once again admitting that the department made mistakes, and key findings from the report demonstrate that is the case. We are learning on the day of the shooting, there were several dozen discretionary officers available from other parts of the city that could have been deployed to the Brooklyn Day party. They were not requested by the Southern District until after the critical incident. We're also learning that some limited intelligence was received about the upcoming block party 3 days beforehand, but it wasn't investigated. Another key piece of information, city police say in retrospect, even though the crowd was building the day of the block party, quote, very little consideration was given to possible public safety concerns. In the meanwhile, this all comes as a report from the Baltimore Brew is accusing the city of turning down federal help to catch the suspects. According to a top-level source at the Justice Department, they say the city has shunned the help of the FBI and ATF, and now community leaders are calling on Congress to step in.
And it's clear y'all did nothing. All of y'all dropped the ball. Every agency that could have done something did something wrong or left out something they should have done. And I'm saying, let's clean this up. Let's bring the feds in, FBI, ATF, let them investigate the case.
Fox 45 News has done extensive coverage of the Brooklyn Day mass shooting and the aftermath. You can read all of those stories on our website at foxbaltimore.com. Happening now, we are taking you live to a press conference. School superintendent to address student transportation issues. Now, there are a lot of frustrated parents that they're going to address some of those concerns. You see that that is the shot. No one there right now. But if you want to hear more about the news conference, just make sure you tune in to Fox 45 News at 4.
Let's not put our first responders at risk. Let's just stay in Wednesday evening, early Thursday morning. Let this storm pass.
The mayor of Charleston, South Carolina, urging residents to stay indoors until Hurricane Idalia passes. It's on its way in that direction now. The Category 3 storm, sustaining 125-mile-per-hour winds, made landfall at about 7:45 this morning on Florida's west coast. Now, on the left of your screen, our Fox 45 Weather Authority radar shows the storm now heading north towards Georgia, South Carolina. Then on the right, live conditions in Tybee Island, right off the coast of Georgia. Make sure you stay with Fox 45 News throughout the day. Our Weather Authority team of meteorologists will bring you the latest on Hurricane Idalia. Now, even without making landfall, the hurricane caused many roads to be flooded in Florida beach towns. This video shows flooded streets in Treasure Island near their city hall. Treasure Island is about 40 minutes west of Tampa. Luckily, no cars on the road there, so that was good news. The second video is from St. Pete Beach. That's a few miles south of Treasure Island on Florida's west coast. Roads were flooded early this morning as well there. A former member of FEMA now saying that rescue crews could have a hard time getting to towns on Florida's west coast once the storm does pass.
Well, as was pointed out earlier, these areas along the coast don't have high populations, but they're very hard to get to. Usually you're talking about a two-lane road coming off of US 27, US 19. You're having to go 20, 30, 40 miles to get to these little communities, and all that's going to be covered with debris, flooded. So for the response, it's really about if people haven't evacuated, they're prepared to go in and try to get to those survivors. But it's going to be very difficult. And unlike other places, these won't be concentrated populations. It's going to be very spread out.
Well, remember, you can track severe storms near or far, even when we're not on the air. Download the free Fox 45 Weather Authority app. To get started, go to your app store and search WBFF. 11:06, here's a look at today's top trending stories. Trending number one, the Maryland Office of the Attorney General has released body camera footage of an incident where a man died while in police custody. It happened July 25th. Officers were called to the scene for reports of a man lying in the middle of the street, attempting suicide and fighting people. The victim, identified as 29-year-old Trey Ellinger of Glen Burnie, became unresponsive sometime after being restrained by officers. The AG's Independent Investigations Division released the video later than usual instead of 14 days after the incident because investigators say they needed more time to hold interviews with officers involved and witnesses. Trending number two, a 26-year-old man pleads guilty in an alleged drug operation out of Baltimore County. Police say the drugs were sold at various locations in West Baltimore. The U.S. Attorney for Maryland says a search warrant at that man's Pikesville home led to the seizure of fentanyl and other drugs. He will be sentenced in November. 5 others have already been sentenced in connection. Trending number three, Towson University is welcoming its largest ever incoming class. Nearly 5,300 students are walking on campus for the first time. Towson's new students hail from 25 states and 25 countries. Good luck to all of them. Well, download the Fox 45 News app for up-to-the-minute traffic conditions, breaking news, and weather anytime. Search WBFF in your app store. Are you feeling spicy? Coming up on Be More Lifestyle, we're going to talk more about this popular sweet and spicy food and beverage trend. A news crew robbed in the Windy City. We'll get an update on the victims, plus see how the social stream is reacting. And you've heard of quiet quitting. What about quiet cutting? How companies are secretly trying to save money.
And we are looking at a warm rest of the day, mostly cloudy, but mostly dry too now that the rain is past us. Highs headed into the upper 80s. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going to head to the tropics. I'll give you the latest on Idalia and let you know what that storm means for us later this week in a couple of minutes on Fox 45 News Midday at 11.
Fox 45 News, winner of 16 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
11:10, we are taking a look now at your social stream. A TV news crew in Chicago was reporting on a string of robberies, and they ended up being robbed. Univision Chicago says a reporter and photographer were filming outside Monday morning when three masked men robbed them at gunpoint. The station's vice president of news says the robbers took the television cameras and personal items. Police say no one has been reported hurt in the incidents, and so far, no arrests have been made. This is what you're saying about this. Honestly, I'm not shocked anymore. All of this will reduce drastically when people are arrested, held accountable for their crimes, and harsh prison sentences get slapped down. Until then, it will only get worse. The question is, what will be the breaking point? And then, let's see, another person just saying, you just can't make this up. In Florida, Hurricane Idalia has made landfall. Authorities say Idalia slammed into Florida's Gulf Coast as a powerful Category 3 hurricane with sustained winds of 125 miles per hour. Now, prior to making landfall, it was a strong Category 4 storm briefly. Florida residents in vulnerable areas on the coast had been ordered to evacuate. People reacting. One person saying, I can't even comprehend the damage that is going to happen. I hope everyone is safe down there. Another one saying, I wouldn't live near the coast anywhere along the eastern seaboard if I had the choice. It is going to be a floodplain with these major hurricanes increasing, it seems, more frequently. Well, meanwhile, the practice of quiet quitting in the workplace, where workers give minimal effort, now has a new counterpart. It's where employers often quietly push workers out. A Wall Street Journal report says companies are increasingly reassigning employees to other positions, hoping they end up quitting rather than firing them. Signs of quiet cutting includes lower job pay and new assignments, requiring relocation when it's impossible to do, or assignments to an area where it is known that those jobs will be cut. This is what you're saying to that. If they don't see purpose and appreciation for your work, you should leave and find a better work environment. And one other person, the lust for money exceeds the loyalty to customers and employees for almost every major corporation in the U.S. They simply don't care what they wreck in the process of raking in money from the enterprise. It's like robbing a bank and shooting the customers. Well, fly high in the sky without any kids nearby. The one airline making it happen. That's coming up in today's Talking Point.
How do voters view the Republican field after that fiery debate in Wisconsin? I'm Scott Thuman with a look at who saw it dip and who's gaining ground.
Taking a live look over the Inner Harbor this afternoon, we can expect temperatures in the 80s in just about 5 minutes. Meteorologist Amy Aronson will have more on when we could see temperatures up in the 90s. Well, now to your election 2024 coverage. This morning, we are getting our first look at how the Republican field is shaping up after last week's debate in Wisconsin. Who may have new life? And did Donald Trump skipping the event cost him any support? Sinclair chief political correspondent Scott Thuman takes a look.
With the arrests and court cases piling up, Donald Trump's numbers on the way down. The overall leader appears to have taken a hit, suddenly giving a bit more hope to his competition based on a new post-debate poll. Emerson College noting Trump's snub may open door for other candidates. Trump, who declined to attend, saw a slight dip, losing 6 points. Former Vice President Mike Pence ticked up 4, and Nikki Haley saw the biggest bump, jumping 5 points.
I think in the first 72 hours, we raised $1 million. We've had thousands of people volunteer. It only keeps us more motivated because we have a country to save.
The surge possibly for touting her foreign policy gravitas or willingness to blame her own party for some of Washington's out-of-control spending. And Pence reminded voters how he stood up to Trump on January 6th.
Almost everybody on that stage made it clear that I did my duty that day.
Even though they all still trail Trump by a large margin, they could see this as a first step, that if Trump's not going to dominate the debates, they'll take that time to build name recognition and with it, momentum. Trump's campaign team tells us he'll skip September's debate too. And as critics say Ron DeSantis fell flat on stage, a bonus for newcomer Vivek Ramaswamy, who had the largest number of respondents say he won the debate.
I believe I can take the America First agenda even further than Donald Trump did.
Though Democrats believe the more exposure these candidates have, the more ironically it will hurt them.
The party that used to wrap themselves in the flag is the party that's talking about banning books, changing the voting age from 18 to 25. They are talking about all of these things that are extreme, and that's not where the mainstream of the American people are.
But for GOP contenders, they see even the slightest change as a chance to shake up all those political predictions. In Washington, I'm Scott Thuman.
In the meantime, Republican presidential candidate Francis Suarez has announced he is suspending his campaign. The current mayor of Miami believes the next president must play a crucial role in getting America's cities back on track. Suarez says he wants to continue to amplify the voices of the Hispanic community and that he remains committed to making America a better nation. Eminem is asking Republican candidate Vivek Ramaswamy to not use his music in his campaign. It comes after Ramaswamy performed a karaoke version of Lose Yourself at the Iowa State Fair while campaigning with Iowa's governor. The performing rights organization BMI informed the campaign it will no longer license the rapper's music for use by his campaign. A Ramaswamy spokesperson said the campaign will comply with the request to stop using Eminem's music. 11:17 and now to today's talking point. A Turkish airline is starting an adults-only zone on one of its routes. Corendon Airlines will have a section where nobody under 16 can sit, and there will be a wall or a curtain to separate that section from the rest of the plane. This will apply for flights between Amsterdam and Curacao. The carrier says passengers will have to pay an extra fee. It's equivalent to about $49. It goes up to $109 if you also want some extra leg room with your seat. That adult-only zone will start in November. Mark Clark with Be More Lifestyle is here now, and I'm not looking for it, but if I was offered it, I'll take a seat. I mean, it's not that big a deal to me.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this, Patrice. Do you think having kids makes you more, like, you know, the crying babies, the da-da-da, the things that teenagers do?
I can tolerate it. Yeah,
it's weird, right?
Because I understand probably what's going on in that moment and around that, and I feel like, oh, let me go help the mom.
Right. It's almost like a, what do you call it? It's almost like you've been inoculated because you don't hear it the same way. Like you're on the plane or you're in a situation and things are wild because of kids, but for some reason it feels like you're like, it's okay.
And that is. But if I'm traveling with just my husband and there's a seat that's, I would take it, but I don't need that because, like you said, I'm used to it. I feel you have some empathy for that mom, that family. So.
And the teenagers piece at the airport, that's not a big problem for me.
And listen, if there is this separation on the plane and you want to be up there and you want to pay extra, go right ahead. We don't want you back here with us anyway.
I can't wait till I get to be able to afford first class one day.
One day.
When I make that Patrice money, one day.
Right. we'll be in the back together. All right, let's move on now. Thank you, Mark. Temperatures reaching the 80s this afternoon. afternoon with clear skies, but other parts of the country obviously experiencing that Category 3 hurricane. So let's get over to meteorologist Amy Arrington, and she's got a look at what's happening. Amy?
Yeah, and no longer Category 3. It has since weakened since landfall earlier this morning. Here's the tweet that was actually posted from the National Hurricane Center after it made landfall around 7:45 earlier this morning. It did make landfall as an extremely dangerous Category 3 hurricane in Florida, Big Bend. So that's what happened earlier this morning. Here's a look at some of the images, just a few that have come out from the area. This is Cedar Key, Florida. As you can see, major flooding there courtesy of the storm surge. That's all the water getting shoved up against the shoreline. And Clearwater Beach also suffering from major flooding courtesy of that storm. If we take a look at the National Hurricane Center's track right now, it has since updating all the numbers here. Latest updating showing it's producing max sustained winds of 90 miles an hour, making it a Category 1 in strength. It will continue to impact the southeast, Georgia through South Carolina before moving back out into the Atlantic. So fortunately, this track keeps it south of here in Maryland, so no major direct impacts expected for us. Impacts will be felt for our neighbors to the south in the form of very heavy rain, very strong winds. That's all going to continue there before that storm moves offshore and weakens. For us, we've got a cold front to thank. That's keeping it to our south, keeping all the impacts suppressed to our south and eventually off to our east too. We're actually looking pretty nice. We had some rain earlier this morning, now just mostly cloudy and kind of warm and sticky. Low 80s currently. A drier rest of the day, a drier end to the week actually. Highs in the upper 80s today, and then actually turning more comfortable both Thursday and Friday before the heat returns by the very end of the weekend. So tracking what's happening on FutureScan shows some of the impacts from that storm will get just south of here up into Virginia, but that's as far north as they reach before moving offshore as that system continues to weaken. For us, we should stay dry here as we head through the rest of the week. If you're headed out to Camden Yards this afternoon, little hot for baseball today. Highs will peak in the upper 80s throughout the game, so be prepared for that. More comfortable Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but Sunday, the heat is back on with highs shooting back into the low 90s. And after that, a hot stretch coming up next week. Not going to feel like September. We've got highs well into the mid-90s for not just one day, but for several days next week. Patrice?
All right, thank you, Amy. Apple is making another splash coming up. Their newest products being released this year. Plus, do you want a chance to dine high in the sky? How Subway is giving some lucky winners a chance to eat in a blimp. 11:22 now on Fox 45 News Midday. 11:25. Don't miss this. The calendar is about to flip to September, and if tradition holds, Apple is about to make another splash and unveil its new products for the coming year. Now, the company did send out press invites on Tuesday for an event. It will hold in 2 weeks. Tech experts say Apple will likely reveal its iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Pro. The company is also expected to introduce newer versions of its Apple Watch and Apple Watch Ultra. And some new changes coming out of Google. The site announced Monday it has unveiled 3 new features. When searching Google Flights for airfare, you can now see whether current prices for a particular flight are low, typical, or high. You can also let Google track prices for you, and you may be offered a price guarantee option so that if the price of your airfare does go down, you will get back the difference via Google Pay. Well, now it's time for your lunch break. Subway is giving customers a chance to dine in the sky. The fast food chain has announced Subway in the Sky, a blimp that is wrapped to look like the Beast, one of Subway's hero sandwiches. The blimp can accommodate up to 6 customers per trip and up to 40 per day. It will be in 4 U.S. cities: Kansas City, Atlanta, Orlando, and Miami. It all comes next month. Interesting. Well, that's all we have for Fox 45 News Midday. Be More Lifestyle is up next. Mark Clark back to tell us what they're working on.
Patrice, feeling spicy? It's a combination of sweet and spicy. Coming up on Be More Lifestyle, we'll talk about this popular food and beverage trend. Stick around. Spicy. Okay.
You're watching Fox 45 in Baltimore. Now live from TV Hill, this is Be More Lifestyle.
And what's up, Baltimore? I'm Mark Clark, and this is Be More Lifestyle live from Studio A at Fox Baltimore. Lady T is here, along with Chef Amber Kroom and Yasmin Haskin from And For Dessert. And you guys were recently featured on Fox's hit show Crime Scene Kitchen. Good morning, superstars.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming down and joining Little on Us.
Good morning.
All right, okay, let me tell you right now, feeling spicy? Yes, spicy. It's a mix of sweet and spicy. This trend is popping up on all kinds of food and cocktail places. You can see this in hot chili, dark chocolate candy bars, and even some chicken recipe. We have the chefs. Lady
I
T,
know, right? The real heavy hitters, the actual goats in the kitchen.
That's right. So is this real? Is this spicy story real, y'all?
Tell me about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Greatly so. Like, that's how I love it. I love sweet and spicy or sweet and sour. So that's nothing new for me.
Wow.
Chicken,
Okay.
spicy chicken, a little bit of honey on top. That's my
From the carry out. Yeah,
Yes.
she's talking about.
Speaking of carry out, Lady T, you're the queen of carry out.
Yes,
Are you
I am.
on this trend
I'm
or
the
not
queen
necessarily?
of delivery. No, I'm not on this trend because listen, I don't think my acid reflux can take any of those spicy stuff. I don't feel like I can take any of it. I'm getting older. If I have some Tums nearby, we'll talk. Let's
Well,
say it
Lady
might be a
T,
different
if you're
story.
not spicy, what are you?
So I like sweet.
Give a word that you are.
I like strong and sweet like my men. I like strong and sweet.
So strong and sweet.
I like strong and sweet
Swung?
like my
Swung?
man.
Oh, that's a
so
word.
like, oh, swung. Oh, that sounds
That
good.
almost
It's
seems-
giving swung.
It sounds a little,
I know. That feels like something nasty, but anyway.
It does. It gives you 50 Shades of
I'm
Grey, right?
swung.
It's-
Okay. Wow.
Yes, and
I
this
like
is why
saying
I'm
that,
single.
though.
Now it could be in your vocabulary.
Yes, very
We
much
want
so.
you to tell. Got my mouth. This is weird. Okay.
You
I want you to tell it. Would you try spicy food trends? Vote on our website, foxbaltimore.com/vote. And when you get to the website, you know what to do. Make sure you click on the lifestyle tab. You can also vote on Fox 45 News app. At the end of the show, we'll see what everybody thinks. Now, party foul in France. The country is dumping 80 gallons of surplus wine, spending $260 million to do it. The reason, French wine producers say there are a variety of them, like inflation, skyrocketing costs, and changing drinking habits. This is this an overreaction, France? Y'all need to calm down.
It's giving calm down. It's giving
blasphemy.
Let me tell you something about wine and getting rid of wine. My uncle has a business that gets rid of dangerous products.
Oh,
So there
wow.
was a shipment of wine that was tainted. Man, the streets of D.C. were filled with winos were having a heyday.
Okay.
So this maybe need to ship it over here. I mean, why would they spend all this money just to dump wine?
Yeah, that
Again, back
doesn't
to
make
our food
sense.
experts.
You could literally probably just give it to, your constituents in the cities that you are, or ship it to the U.S. Like, why are we dumping it? Like, is it still
Or
drinkable is the
restaurants.
question.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
That's
What
a great
about
idea.
giving it to homeless alcoholics?
Well, okay, no.
Give it to
Let's
me.
just ship.
it
So
to
I
us.
didn't want to say it, but why didn't they just donate it to us? Okay, now you don't let wine go to waste, baby. Okay, I'll pour it up all
Lady T,
day.
are you a whiner?
Yes. Oh, you didn't know?
Sweet. Do you like dry?
Oh,
or
I
wet?
do the sweet wines. I do my Moscatos. I do a little Chardonnay. I do a little bubbly. Oh, don't get me started
So
when I
that's
tell you.
suspected.
Friends, send it my
As
way.
suspected,
I'll
you
take
like
care
the
of
wet-
it.
You're a wet wine person.
No,
No,
you
call
gotta
it- it's
answer
opposite
that.
of dry
Oh,
wine.
what? There's a.
No,
oh,
it's
yes.
sweet. It's sweet.
Yes,
Sweet.
it's a
That's
sweeter
right.
one. I do like the Moscatos.
Your
You're right.
swung comment done messed up
Yes,
the series.
it's swung. I want
Now,
a swung
September
wine.
is almost around the corner, and pumpkin spice is already here. There's some crazy pumpkin products out there. Here are a few: pumpkin spice vegan protein powder, pumpkin spice chewing gum, pumpkin spice cat litter, pumpkin spice chips, pumpkin spice beef jerky. So, ladies, you can start this one. Look at our experts. What are your take
I don't
on
think you
this?
start with me because I don't even like pumpkin spice. I know.
What?
I know. Look, everybody's.
Wow.
I'm about to start getting hate email. Look, I don't like pumpkin spice. I don't like the taste of it. I just don't get it. I don't get the hype over it. I can't with it.
Well,
So.
Yasmin's a professional. What is the hype over pumpkin spice?
Yeah, what is it? Tell
Ms.
me.
I
Kroom.
think it's just I believe it's just the spices of it all. It brings you into fall. It's a feeling. It's not necessarily a taste, but a feeling. It gives you sitting around the table warmth, right?
It's a trend.
You agree, Ms. Kroom?
It's a
I
trend.
agree. I think But see, I don't even think it's a trend anymore. I think it's now just a staple that
Like apple cider.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as it comes out, you're like, ooh, fall, where's my jacket? Let me frolic in the grass. Like, it's just like...
Now, if you pull out...
I'll frolic.
Yeah, I was going to say, you be frolicking?
I'll frolic.
I'll frolic.
She be frolicking.
She can frolic. I don't be frolicking out here these days.
Let me ask you this. If I take the pumpkin out and it's now spice cake or cinnamon spice, do you like that flavor?
I don't like spice cake and stuff
Oh, you don't like that at all? Okay.
I don't know what it is.
So you don't like the cinnamons and the cardamoms?
Yeah, so I like that. Now, I've had, and I was told by our producer, Hannah, shout out to her, that I maybe have tried the wrong pumpkin spice latte.
This is fact.
So she was saying I need to try the right one, because the one I had, it was like cinnamony. It was super cinnamon and just didn't taste
Well,
good.
I'm sorry we have to go late. We'll see you guys.
Sorry, you guys. It got
all
deep.
back.
It got deep.
Lady T will be back with our chefs. It's the final days of summer. Coming up, a fun place to spend your Labor Day weekend outside and in nature. But first, a new way to keep your pearly whites shining bright. Ooh, I need this because I've got a little tan going on. Remove the stains on your teeth. Coming up. Stick around. We got a great show on the way. Well, it's right now. Start.
You're watching Be More Lifestyle.
Soda, coffee, and tea all work to stain our teeth. Today, Stacey Bell's here with a new way to help you brighten your smile and offer it an exclusive low price. Here's America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Naki. I'm a 2-cup of coffee person and some wine every now and then, but that wine and coffee really stains your teeth, so I found something I like. This is a Amore Paris natural teeth whitening system. It doesn't have all of the harsh chemicals, no peroxide. This is activated by quality coconut and charcoal, so it's really easy to use. It's a powder, and I got the orange scent, but there are a lot of scents you can choose from. You wet your toothbrush just a little bit, and then you dip it into the powder and brush. And you're gonna do this for 2 minutes, and over time, it whitens your teeth. We're always taking selfies, and then you look at yourself in the picture and think, oh, my teeth could be whiter. Like I said, I was a former news anchor, and I spent a lot of money over the years on harsh professional teeth whitening systems. I wish I had known about this. Normally, this is $13 for one of these. Right now, you're getting 4 for just about 30 bucks. So it's really worth it to try it. Get one for your kids. You know, you can put them in every bathroom in the house at this price point. Right now, we're offering 30% off the Amore Paris teeth whitening powder. So you want to head over to asadeals.com and check that out. And I am going to keep brushing my teeth because I like white teeth.
The weather this week is going to be great, so why not get outside and explore Maryland? If you like the water, why not check out Rocky Point Park in Baltimore County? Check it out.
It's a beautiful park. If you want to fish, this is a great spot for it. Bring your friends and family.
The unique part about Rocky Point is that we have a swimming beach. So we're one of a few swimming beaches in Baltimore County. And then we also are offering more water sports activities this year. So we have kayaking, paddleboarding, and paddle boats. The great part about Rocky Point is there's so many picnic spots. There's beachside ones, there's playground side ones, there's point side ones, so you can really find a picnic spot wherever you so please. We do offer picnic rental, so you can rent an area. On holiday weekends, we only do first come, first serve, but if you show up early enough, most people can get an area.
Oh, the staff is amazing. They're friendly, they keep the park clean, and they keep it fun out here.
So I supervise both the swimming beaches, so Rocky Point, Miami Beach, and then the Loch Raven Fishing Center.
One of my main duties as a beach and park manager is to supervise the lifeguards and make sure everything is going smoothly in the swim area. My favorite part about working here is being outside instead of being cooped up in the summer. It's good to have fresh air, get off your technology a little bit, and just spend some time in nature.
I get to work in this beautiful landscape. I get to work with a different, unique group of people that come to this park. It's a very diverse group of people that come and picnic here. I've learned so many different things from my patrons, from my employees, and just enjoying this beautiful nature here is also a plus.
We're still hiring for seasonal workers. We're hiring gatehouse attendants, lifeguards, assistant managers, and managers. And you don't need any prior work experience, and you can still get lifeguard trained anytime throughout the summer. You can learn more about working at the beaches by going to the Baltimore County website and looking at the jobs section.
My name is Derek Jones. I go by Catfish Rick. Being a realtor, you know, my schedule is all over the place. But anytime I can get out here, I'm here.
When you come to the beach, obviously throw your trash out in the correct, receptacles. Try to pick up any trash, that might have flown out of the trash cans, and, leave the wildlife alone. There might be some snakes, birds, fish, things like that. Just look at them, but let them live. It's a nature park. We love when people come out and kind of enjoy and be in nature and, watch the wildlife, but just leave it be. New unique water sports program that we're actually offering is our kayak share program. There's going to be 12 different kayaks of different kind of varying kayaks of fishing kayaks, sit inside, sit on top, tandem, and you can take those kayaks out during the operating hours. It's going to be at 4 different locations here at Rocky Point, at Miami Beach, at Marshy Point Nature Center, and then at the Loch Raven Fishing Center. If you want more information about the park on the rental fees, the admission fees, park hours, you can visit the Baltimore County government website and then search Rocky Point Park.
Still ahead, we're rocking and reviewing. We take a look at the big music that's making waves, but first, you saw them on Fox's hit show Crime Scene Kitchen, and now they're here in our kitchen. Coming up, pastry chef Amber Kroom from And for Dessert, and her partner, Yasim Haskins. Coming up.
This is Be More Lifestyle.
All right, hey fellow foodies, get your taste buds ready for this tasty treat. Okay, so we have the winners of the Fox show Crime Scene Kitchen here, and I'm drooling, okay, because guess what? We have Chef Amber Kroom in the building and Chef Yasmin Jackson. Welcome to the show, you guys. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Listen, stuff is already sizzling.
Yes.
I'm pretty excited. Wait, so how does it feel to have won? Because y'all are some ladies on top who are just doing the thing, okay? Can you just tell me right now, what does it feel like to have won?
Absolutely fantastic.
Amazing. Of course.
Amazing.
Of course.
Well deserved. Toot the horn, because that was hard. That was not easy.
Yeah, they didn't
whatsoever.
even let up on you guys. Like,
No.
it was a difficult task. Like, what was the most difficult part for you guys, would you say?
The floating island. You know,
okay.
trying to
Right.
put all the clues together and remember that actual dessert.
Yep.
That was a little
Right.
difficult. And Dwight Howard.
And
Okay,
oh,
yeah,
God. They didn't show us much with him in the kitchen, but
Yeah.
he was a big chocolate distraction.
Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
he
Oh, he
was.
was a distraction.
Yes,
then.
he was.
Well, you know we love those distractions.
We
do we
do.
not?
We
We have
do.
another distraction that's sizzling right here, right? Okay, so what do we make it today? I'm pretty excited because it smells so good. I'm drooling, y'all. Oh my goodness.
So Yaz and I have come together, and we have our own companies, but we formed our own together called
Okay.
Babe Beignets.
Okay.
We are at your local farmers markets on the weekend, and we are doing classic with a twist New Orleans style beignets.
I love it. I love beignets. You know, I went to New Orleans. Let me tell you something. Not only did I crush those Parmesan oysters.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
not only did that, but I was crushing the beignets, y'all.
Yes.
I was taking them
It's
down.
easy.
It
It's
is.
easy.
Okay, so show me how to cook it. You're going to show me how to make it today. Everybody, I need you guys to watch, okay, because I'm cooking. So I want the fire crew on standby. Just kidding. No.
Yes.
What?
We good. I got
We should
you.
be
I
okay,
got
right?
You. I got you covered.
Okay, I'm going to make this, you guys. I'm going to do this. It's stuffed, right? What is it stuffed with?
We are stuffing it with a praline cream cheese filling.
Ooh.
Then you're gonna top it with some candied toasted pecans.
Okay.
And then you're gonna drizzle.
We're going to drizzle, baby.
A little praline sauce.
We're going to do drizzle, baby. Look at the sauces. So we got the
Yes.
sauces over here.
Yes,
Okay.
we do. All
Okay,
right.
I'm ready. Okay,
All right, you
teach
ready?
me. Tell me what you want me to do.
Grab these.
Grab
Okay.
those. Yep.
Yep.
There she go.
Tell me
All
what you want.
So I'm gonna start the process. So we
Okay.
have here our dough, our beautiful dough
It
that has
smells
been
so
sitting
good.
for a couple days to give it
Okay.
that nice,
so you're gonna
nice
cut.
feeling. Then we're gonna fry it.
Oh, so now I'm cutting it in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Middle.
Okay. All right, now I'm cutting.
They're nice and they're already fried.
Just
and
down
ready
the
to
middle,
go.
or-
Yep,
Right
right
down the
there.
middle.
Right down the
It's a
middle.
little hollow.
Okay.
And that's good. Go
Oh,
ahead and
okay.
do that one.
Okay, do that. I gotta do multiple ones? This feel like I'm in
Yeah,
school
yeah.
now.
You gotta
This
share.
how
You gotta share with your
She
team
was like,
here.
you gotta have, oh, this is, okay, Mark, you're gonna eat this. Mark is gonna try one. I'm gonna make one just for him also.
Yes.
This stale one. I'm gonna give him the stale one.
All right.
I'm gonna,
You ready?
Yes.
So what you're going to do is
Okay.
always hold your bag from the top.
Hold
and
the bag
then
from the top.
Squeeze from the bottom.
Okay, hold it back from the top.
You feel it?
Squeeze, I do.
Yep.
There you go.
I'm squeezing from the bottom.
Squeeze.
Oh, I'm making it, you guys.
Nice
Look
and
at that.
filled.
All right.
Okay, and then we're gonna let me
Yep, nuts on top.
nuts on top. We're gonna sprinkle it on,
All right, and sauce.
and we're gonna sauce it, and then I'm gonna present it.
Right here.
We're gonna put it right over here.
Yes.
Yep.
Boom.
Oh, now douse with some
And
sugar.
do I do with some sugar?
Because it's not enough.
Ah, yes. Okay, I feel like I know exactly what I'm doing here, y'all.
do.
Ladies, how can we follow you for more?
All right, so you can follow us at Babe Beignets on IG, B-E-Y-E, Beignets. And then we also have our own companies, and for dessert, and Cocoa and Nuts Pastry.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much for this. I appreciate it. And we're gonna toss now to Amy with the weather.
Good job in the kitchen, Lady T, looking good. Looking up at the sky now, we actually have a full moon coming up tonight. So here is a preview of it. This one comes from Florida, actually. Amazing they could see it with the hurricane moving through there. But what a cool sight from last night. Here's a look closer to home. This was over D.C. actually earlier this morning, and it's going to look just as cool tonight too. So here's all the details on how you can view this full moon. And it's actually not just a full moon, it's a super blue moon. So we call it the blue moon, not because it looks blue, but because it's this month's second full moon. Moonrise happening at 7:52 p.m. tonight, and then it sets tomorrow at 6:59 in the morning. Also a supermoon, so it's at its closest point in its orbit around Earth, making it bigger and brighter than normal, and that's the last supermoon actually of the year. So check that out tonight. Meanwhile, to our south, they are still tracking Idalia, still a hurricane category 1 in strength, producing max sustained winds now at 90 miles an hour as it heads towards Georgia, eventually South Carolina, before heading back out into the Atlantic. You'll notice the track keeps it to our south, and that's because we've actually got a cold front coming through, helping us out, helping keep the impacts south of here. Impacts ongoing, though, for Florida up through the Carolinas right now. Flooding concerns expected there, along with The threats of very dangerous winds, too. We are looking at a quiet situation here. North of that, we've got sunshine over the Inner Harbor. We're currently in the low 80s, a drier end to the day, actually a comfy end to the week starting tomorrow. Today's still going to be kind of toasty. Highs in the upper 80s, and then that heat returns by the very end of the weekend. So we are mostly dry today. You'll notice the moisture from that system stays well south of here before heading offshore. Cold front clears our area, and we're in good shape as we head through the rest of the week into the weekend. If you're headed out to Camden Yards today, a little hot out there with highs in the upper 80s, but otherwise I think we're in good shape. Temperatures will briefly dip back into the low 80s, but then the heat is on by the end of the weekend. 90s are back starting on Sunday, and early September not going to feel like it. We've got mid-90s coming up next week. Back to you.
Grace Morrison, thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here.
You know, it's like there was like a whole page of the awards you've won and all the songwriter festivals you've done that you've also, you know, finished and finalist and all this stuff. You're kind of like a big deal.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm a big deal. I just really like what I do.
Well, and also you've developed your own sound.
Yeah.
With Saltwater Country. How did that come about?
You know, I was thinking, I travel all around, and the comment I get a lot, which I never quite know how to take, is, "You're too good to be from Massachusetts," or, "What's a Southern girl like you doing singing about Massachusetts?" I'm like, I'm not a Southern girl, and I'm so inspired by home.
Right. So
that's where Saltwater Country comes from.
Well, you know, you've got this new album out, and there's so many incredible tracks on it, maybe modern.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was tough for me listening to it. You've got so many different sounds, and you worked with two great producers, and I want you to talk about that, and also recorded in Austin.
Yes. So we recorded with Walt Wilkins and Ron Flint, and I have to say that's the first time I've ever cried when I left the studio, because it just felt like home, and like I was with these people. We all just cared about each other and the music so much. And we actually drove there from Massachusetts in our electric vehicle with my then 3-year-old.
Such a brave, that's an album right there. Yeah.
We've done it a few times.
Except it's not maybe modern, it's like maybe not. You know, it's just a totally different title, different angle. You know, I hope you took notes during the travels, right?
Oh, there's a lot of video diaries of that trip.
I'll tell you what, it's an incredible album. Please go and see Grace live also, which you're going to be amazed, you know, at the storytelling and the entertainment. And the album is great. Morning music coming out, maybe modern. Grace Morrison, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I've owned some of the books that you've done in the past and everything, so next time you come in, you got to sign them, okay?
I would love to. I'm honored that you have some of my books.
Well, obviously, and we got to talk about the latest release that you have been a part of on helping bring this back to the public, and this is DeFord Bailey, a black star in early country music. And what you guys have done on this book with the Country Music Hall of Fame is updated it.
Right.
Expanded it. I mean, talk about how this process came about, Paul.
David Morton was working for the Nashville Housing Authority at the time in the 70s, and kind of discovered that this talented black musician was living over in the Edge Hill community, and at one time had been a Grand Ole Opry star. The first black Grand Ole Opry star, the first black star in country music, and so we definitely wanted to get this book out.
It's incredible work, and I think what a great way to acknowledge his contributions to music and to the Grand Ole Opry, and just being part of the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. Paul, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Appreciate it, Eric.
Be sure and get your own copy of DeFord Bailey, the book. You're going to enjoy it as much as I have.
It's your turn to get in on the conversation. Are you feeling spicy? The results are coming up next. We've been talking about it all morning. Feeling spicy? Yes, spicy. It's a mix of sweet and spicy. This trend is popping up in all kinds of food and cocktails. You can see this in hot honey, chili, dark chocolate candy bars, and even some chicken recipes. We wanted you to tell it, are you feeling spicy, the trend? Well, most of you are saying, nah. Okay.
Find out how to have your business featured on Be More Lifestyle. Email us at BeMoreLifestyleTV@foxbaltimore.com.
I really thought you were feeling that one. No, not feeling spicy. Okay, thank you for inviting us into your home. Make sure you follow Be More Lifestyle on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and all platforms. Have a great one. We'll see you tomorrow.